We've made our way away from the deserts of Bahrain to the country of Italy and the city-village surrounding the Imola circuit. Welcome to the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. It's our second stop on this 2021 campaign. Lewis Hamilton taking victory last time out in Bahrain. But after this as well, we are off on the 30th of April to the 2nd of May for round 3, the Portuguese Grand Prix. Then we go to the Spanish Grand Prix in the 7th to the 9th of May. Monaco a couple of weeks later before Azerbaijan. On the 11th to the 13th, however, of June, the Canadian Grand Prix, which is currently looking to be cancelled and possibly replaced with the Turkish Grand Prix. The French Grand Prix returns to Paul Ricard on the 27th of June. Austria the first weekend of July. The 4th of July we go racing. Mark your calendar for the British Grand Prix on the 16th to the 18th of July. The Hungarian Grand Prix is on the 1st of August before the 3-week break for the summer, before a triple header in Belgium, the Netherlands and Italy. Russia on the 26th of September, followed then by Singapore, the longest race on the calendar, just always hitting the 2 hours distance. Then on the 10th of October, the Japanese Grand Prix before we go stateside on the 24th of October for the Circuit of the Americas. Mexico on Halloween, the Day of the Dead. The 5th to the 7th of November for the Brazil Grand Prix. And then we get on the 21st of November, the Australian Grand Prix. Saudi Arabia makes its debut on the 5th of December. And the season rounds out in Abu Dhabi on the 12th of December. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, Lewis Hamilton leads the way on 25 points after victory in Bahrain. Max Verstappen is second, followed by Valtteri Bottas, Lando Norris, Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc, Daniel Ricciardo, Carlos Sainz, Yuki Tsunoda scoring points on debut, and Lance Stroll is P10. In the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes lead the way on 41 points, but only 6 teams do score points, followed by Red Bull, McLaren holding on to 3rd, Ferrari 4th, AlphaTauri is 5th, Aston Martin 6th, and then no points for Alfa Romeo, Alpine, Williams or Haas. Saturday is here, conditions the same, it's time all to go for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix 3rd practice. Let's take a look around Imola, the 3.05 mile 19-turn circuit 1 DRS zone for the 2021 Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Start the lap then here at Imola. Down to turn 1, the Tamburello chicane, tight on the entrance as well, and on the exit, changed of course back from 1994, this entire section leads down towards the Villeneuve chicane. A possible overtaking opportunity. Of course, it's all Christian Alba's role here the last time he raced in 2006 when he was hit by Yuki Ide. Now down to the Tosa corner, a slow second gear corner as you rise up the hill before the Ravazzas. Take the curb on the inside, get the power on mid-exit, and then rise up. Ravazzas 1 and 2. The Acapulco Arena corners as well. This place is absolutely awesome as you fly past, keeping the throttle on mid-corner as you drop down towards the Acapulco 1 and 2 part of the track before coming up to the chicane at the top of the hill, which is absolutely terrifying in real life. You climb up the hill controlling the oversteer, and then you have to aim your car towards the inside of the track. It is terrifying, believe me. Bounce over the curves normally. Track limits will be a warning here as well if anybody goes too wide over the green rumble strip. Drop down the hill now into what is the heaviest braking spot on the track as you are continually trying not to lock up your tyres and go straight onto the gravel trap, as we've seen so many cars do. Now the last corner's changed here. This is it. And as we approach the line, the new pit building on the left, building the early 2000s as well, just after F1 left. No chicane now, full throttle as you come onto the start straight now and across the line at the gantry. That is a lap of Imola. Hello everybody and welcome up to the commentary box for the 2021 Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. It's the final practice session ahead of qualifying here today, and bright sunshine for the Formula One Pirelli Gran Premio di Melde in Italy, Emilia Romagna, the longest Formula One Grand Prix name. Yeah, it's just San Marino, basically. Around this track, it's 4.909 kilometres, 3.05 miles, 3 sectors, 1 DRS zone, down the start-finish straight, top speed 189 miles an hour, 19 turns, elevation change at 34.4 metres. It's very much an old-school circuit, but overtakes down at Tamburello last year. Verstappen right round the outside of Valtteri Bottas. Up at Tosa in 2005, Alonso versus Schumacher. Schumacher trying to go through the inside with 2 laps to go. Didn't make it through. Alonso won that year. And down at the Pieta, down at turn 9 as well. Around the outside, Kvyat passing Leclerc last year on the safety car restart. 3 tyre compounds to keep your eyes on this weekend. The usual soft, medium and hard. But this weekend the soft is the C4, the medium the C3 and the hard is the C2 tyre compound. Sunshine around as well. Track temperature is up as well at, I'm just having a look, 20 degrees. Air temperature at 10 degrees as well. And that is the track limits down at turn 9, as you can see, which has been the focus point over the past couple of races. Tyre marks down there as well from the previous race that just came out with the Formula Alpine Championship as well, but we're all ready to go. And as you said just before we came on air, Dad, pumped on saying, hi, what is this lap? It looks very slow. Usually, that was me driving, doing a lap attack. Usually, they're a lot faster than that, but my wheel wasn't exactly programmed in for Project Cars 2. Neither am I, no. And Riverstone says, hello there, good morning. Good morning to you too. So we're almost ready to go. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left. Ian Burch in the commentary box alongside me. Hopefully, Dad, in the last hour, we'll have a lot more action than we did yesterday. As you said, it felt incomplete yesterday.
Well, people have been told to avoid the plugs this morning.
Oh, sorry. You have to say that again.
Well, people have been told to avoid the plugs this morning or not press the wrong buttons.
Yeah, remember to unmute both mics.
Anybody listening to our watch along yesterday, you were listening to us, and the other watch along was working, but none of the TV companies were working at all.
No, they were all
on. We only had the feed from the helicopter.
They were all on disaster recovery mode, which is interesting.
Fancy starting a program and having that happen.
We had it happen.
Technicians at Sky were actually
screaming,
pulling their hair out.
We had it, do you remember in the first race of the Bahrain, we had a problem where we couldn't go on air for 5 minutes and just got on air as the pit lane went on.
You got really upset, but I don't.
I was like, oh my God, why isn't this working? I had to change stream keys, everything, reset everything. 1 minute, 10 seconds until the green light goes on. That's what the countdown is above you.
Just go in the garden and look at the Buddha and breathe. And breathe.
Works. So the session starts in 60 seconds' time. That's what the countdown is up in the box.
The Queen has a golden Buddha. It's quite tall as well in the garden.
Yeah.
In the Chinese garden.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
I've got the apple juice as well, just in case anybody's wondering.
Yes, and I'm following the regulations.
Well, what's your regulations?
Well, your shirt doesn't look... I know when I look at it, it looks black.
It's blue.
It's blue.
Why? Are we supposed to wear black today?
Yeah, so I'm wearing a dark blue jumper that looks black.
Oh, I didn't know that.
On the screen.
I didn't know that. I'll wear a black shirt
Jenny
tomorrow.
had to wear a black dress when did the Formula E last week because it's the protocol.
Probably. All right, I'll wear a black shirt tomorrow.
And your mum's just been complaining that about you having to sort out so that you can do your MotoGP.
Oh, it's chaotic stuff.
And watch the funeral.
And the green light is on. And practice 3 is go. And nobody in a hurry. Actually, I'll stand corrected on that because we've got Kimi Raikkonen heading out onto the track now.
Why have we got a picture of one of the units?
It looks like the AlphaTauri.
That looks like Red Bulls.
Yeah, it probably is Red Bulls thinking about it. That's unusual. Yeah, we just got an image there as well of simply one of them just moving along the track. Not sure what all that's about. That's the wrong one I've unhooked here. But let's get rid of that little dot thing as everyone gets annoyed. I get annoyed by it as well.
Kimi Raikkonen, who is the done more races than anybody else in Formula One history.
Oh, you sprung that on me a little bit. I'll get my notes that I've got on the second page here.
Crofty sprung it on me.
Yes, Kimi Raikkonen has completed 331 Grand Prix.
Which is, 326 was Rubens Barrichello's
one, yes, it's the most in history.
See, I keep him on his toes.
He's also scored 1,863 points, but the biggest points is Lewis Hamilton on the current grid.
Did you know Rubens and him had 15 podiums together?
Yes. But Hamilton's total points in history is 3,803.
That's why the camera... Oh, it's Ian.
Oh, everyone's out there at the moment.
I think Pete will be with him. So both cameramen from Sky, and there's the others from that's Sky Germany, isn't it?
Yep, it was. There's Michael Masi at Race Control. Max Verstappen yesterday.
How did you see that before we did?
Max Verstappen having a drive shaft failure
Michael
yesterday.
Masi's hair's going grey.
It would do with that job. 2 seconds. Yeah, Max Verstappen, who had a drive shaft failure yesterday coming out of Ravazza, and an FIA update to the track limits at turn 14 and 15. It has said cars will be permitted to drive on the yellow curbs located at the exit of turn 14 and 15. Leaving the track to cut across the curbs is not permitted, and a penalty may be applied.
I'm pretty sure, when I was watching this morning, watching the rerun of Sky this morning, that this track, when you get down to the little chicane where the corner where the old farmhouse is beyond the fence, didn't we have a GP2 car
jump over
that fence about 3 years ago?
I don't think it was 3 years ago. Well, think about it. How many times?
There's the smallest guy in Formula One, Yuki Tsunoda.
I seem to remember a car jumping over the barrier. Tobias has been coming in. Oh, actually, Synthil says, why did it say 16 cars on the track, except for Ricciardo, Norris, Vettel and Latifi? No idea what's wrong with the graphics. Only Kimi Raikkonen is out the track.
The graphics are going wrong because of the fact that, I don't know.
They're on backup mode, I reckon.
The little glitch yesterday actually cleared a lot of things, and the engineers did actually fantastic to get any graphics back up.
Yeah,
they basically had to reroute from another system and just to get them on the screen.
Raikkonen has gone fastest on a 1:18.249. And Tobias...
Raikkonen was the only one done a full lap, wasn't he? In fact, he's the only one on track at the moment.
Only one out there, yeah. Tobias saying, hi, guys. German flags all the way around. He says also,
we could have had our German flag up. We have a German flag up. Yes, Prince Philip was also part of the German royal family and the Danish and the Greek royal family.
And Raikkonen's time's been deleted for track limits at turn 9, which is up here as well at the Paretta corners. So he comes down towards Aqua Minerale. But Tobias says, man, so hard Mick Schumacher to have such a bad car as well. And I completely agree with that as well. It's a terrible car at the moment with the Haas.
The Haas, yeah, well, there's no development of the Haas this year. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Gene Haas wanted to pull completely. He'd had enough of... The fact that even though Ferrari were supplying most of the parts, they didn't seem to be able to get any speed out of that car. And the drivers got very frustrated, and then one turned it into a barbecue.
Yeah, splitting in half as well. Track limits down at turn 9 as well, which is a lap time achieved during any practice session or the race by leaving the track and gaining an advantage at turn 9 will result in that lap time being deleted by the stewards as well. So they're all being very serious about what they're doing with the track limits.
What you've got to look at with Mick is, first of all, he's always going to beat his teammate because his teammate's rubbish. Right. Sorry for any Russian people listening, but you have had some really great drivers. One of them is still in GP2, isn't he?
Yep.
And this guy is only there because of his dad's money. He might develop. Massa did. Massa developed into such a great driver. And yet, if anybody wants to look back at the early career of Felipe was a disaster. in his first 6 races, and it's going to take. He's had some coaching. His dad hired last year's Mercedes, or the years before Mercedes, and a track to put it on and give him a coach to coach. But the guy basically, Raikkonen's doing purple in 2 sectors now.
Coming across the line as well. He's got Schumacher and Mazepin out the track. 1:17.331 for Raikkonen.
Basically, Mazepin is not up to standard.
No.
He could be, and he may be, but not at the moment. Right?
It was embarrassing what happened yesterday.
Yeah, well, it was embarrassing for him when he actually spun on the entrance to the pit lane, and then all the other 11 cars had to go past him.
And it was at the end of the session as well, which was even bad as well. And Cynthia saying as well, also with replays, when the replay's finished, they switch back to live and it says replay for a few seconds. Why it's not a replay? Yeah, it's confusing also. Yeah. And track limits at turn 13 have been removed. He asks as well.
This is the replay you're getting.
Yeah,
look at that. That's a good view.
I just want to just to clear up in case anybody mistakes what I just said. Synthol has asked, so track limits in turn 13 have been removed. The Dutch commentator said that no, they have not been removed. On the actual document I printed out this morning, a fresh page for the race from the race director's notes. It is track limits at turn 9 exit, turn 13 apex, and now turn 14 and 15's exit curbs. So turn 13 is still being monitored. Let's
talk about Max and what caused his car to have a drive shaft failure yesterday. This is a MotoGP Super Grand Prix Superbike track as well, and the curbs are slightly different here. You know when you're on a road and you go over a rumble strip, well, these have ridges in the curbs, right? And it's those ridges that cause an oscillation, and the oscillation can cause more oscillation in the car, and by the time it gets to things like the drive shaft, it can break it. And
there's an example going right at the top of Aqua Minerale.
If you remember last year, the Mercedes were told at a couple of races to keep off the curbs.
Yeah.
Well, virtually everybody has been told this year at this racetrack, stay off the curb as much as possible. There are some you can go over, like you just saw, but others are just keep away from, because they're going to break your car. You know, it's not so much the height of them, it's the oscillation caused by the ridges.
Schumacher crosses the line, does a 1:18.660, as Tobias mentions as well. This is where Mick's Formula 4 campaign really took off a couple of years ago in 2016. He won from pole here, and it took him off on his charge, and he got it to Formula 3, won that in the second half of the year, and then went in as well with Formula 2, 2 seasons, and then now Formula 1.
And we haven't said goodbye to Hulkenberg, Tobias. Hulk is back.
Yep.
As the test driver and reserved. Oh, that was a nasty hit.
That was Schumacher.
That is one that can break a strut.
That was coming down through Aqua Minerale.
It was as he hit the curb again.
Yeah,
the oscillations. He hit one of the ridges, and it just bounced up, and the oscillations through that car. It was engineering-wise, it just shakes the car so much that the force, by the time you get to the back of the car, the force is about 10 times what the force at the front of the car was being put on. And it's a really weird system, but that's what this suspension is supposed to be able to cope with. But there are certain tracks where over the course of Grand Prix, that is too much for a lot of suspensions, and that's why Mercedes were told to keep off 3 times last year to keep off the curbs.
And it cost Max Verstappen as well in the race last year, because he got a puncture over some debris at the exit of turn 3, and he span off into the Villeneuve chicane. Schumacher and Mazepin trading places at the moment. Oh, race control. Track limits at turn 9 for Schumacher.
Yeah, well, we all saw him go over that. That was obvious. I mean, that's what he was just testing the limit. He was fine.
It's practice 2. Oh,
it's
Mazepin.
Practice 3.
Mazepin's been warned of track limits at turn 9.
I think you'll find it's practice 3, Joshua.
What did I say? Practice 2. Yeah, it was because I was saying for Mazepin, and he went up to second.
Both Hasses, it's difficult to control these cars.
Oh, there's an example.
Look at that, the oversteer there.
Coming out of Tamburello, big oversteer. That was a cool-down wrap for Mazepin as well. These Haas cars, I'm surprised they're actually being deemed as safe.
You see, he did very well there. If he'd have been in a faster car, he'd have had the same problem that Charles had yesterday.
Yeah.
Because when Charles did it yesterday, he had to pick which end crashes into the barrier.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't enough runoff for him to get the car to slow down. So it was either do something and spin the car and hit the back end and cause a lot more damage and possible to a gearbox,
or just do the
or just take the hit and hit it at the front. And he chose the right one. He chose going front ways, and just it was the right hand side of the suspension that got done at the front.
We've got some great development corner pieces coming for the Portuguese Grand Prix with shots that we got yesterday of the Ferrari front wing, the rear of the Red Bull as well. And they've already made so many developments from race 1. Tobias asks, what's your favourite drivers for qualifying today? Well, who do you think is going to take pole position?
Well, I said, don't rule out Perez.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, Max and Lewis. Right. Obvious.
Yeah.
Right. Valtteri's going very strong at this track.
He's top both
liked
sessions,
this track last year. Had
pole last year.
And so obviously the top 4 cars are going to be challenging for the pole position. Other than that, right, look out for the Ferraris, because we're not sure that they weren't
sandbagging yesterday,
that they had a little bit extra in their tank.
FP1, Leclerc was 4th, Sainz 6th. FP2, Leclerc was 5th, Sainz 4th. But they were on the pace.
They've made great improvements, and hopefully that can translate. There's one thing to improvements to a qualifying lap, and there's another thing, improvements to the race, but you've got to do one and then the other. You've got to get yourself a good starting position in the race to actually have a good chance in the race.
Schumacher's just complaining over the radio as well with some tyres at the back. They're not heating up as what is like.
Lewis had that yesterday.
And I think Mazepin had it as well, because that would explain the slide out of Tamburello. In the first corner. Giovinazzi and Alonso, 2 cars out on the track right now, as is Mazepin and Schumacher. They're just coming through the last couple of corners. It's impossible to tell with some of these cars on the driver tracker this year where exactly they are. And they flicked it back to white as well.
This is the third fastest track in Formula 1, surprisingly enough.
It's an old school track.
It's an old school track, but it is actually the third fastest track in Formula 1. Suzuka and Silverstone are ahead of it. And that means that the corner speeds are quite high. You see, you can only get what you can get out these long straights, but it's the amount of speed you can get going around the corners that make it the faster track than say Spa or something like that.
Synthil says, I'm afraid no rain during the race tomorrow. I've just had a quick look as well. It's still 50% when the race starts, so I wouldn't say no yet. It's Imola. You can have 2 different weather conditions, but it's not often it rains at Imola. I can't not remember the last wet race. I think it was in the 90s.
You think of the tracks that are surrounded by trees, right? And you get a high percentage of chance of rain, because trees need a lot of rain.
Yeah.
And to have the number of trees that we've got, this is a beautiful circuit in a beautiful area. And simple biology suggests that you do have a lot of rain. But I thought the forecast said unlikely for the actual race tomorrow. I think he's right.
It keeps changing as well. I have just looked as well. The last wet race at this track was 1991.
Yeah,
so
and yet, if you look at the trees, you don't get that many trees without having a good rainfall. Spa's the same.
Yeah. It's just every time Formula 1's here, it never seems to actually rain.
Well,
it
really depends on the time of the year you go here. We've actually we went November last year.
Yeah, we've come back to the time we would usually be here for a normal F1 race back in the 2000s.
What was worrying last year was that we're getting some races where the early morning races, the build-up races, were on tracks that were almost undrivable.
Yeah, last year it was really
very
bad.
Cold, no grip at all. And
Turkey.
that happened in Turkey with the practice session.
It was almost wiped out, wasn't it? And
yeah.
FP3 last year as well.
I still don't like the green on the Mercedes on the Ferrari.
Nobody does. It looks okay, but I'm not a fan of it now. It should be red.
White.
Oh, white. Yeah, that'll do. Oh no, there's a thing about having white on a Ferrari car as well. They consider it a bit unlucky if the engine cover's white, and they've got the Ray-Ban and the letters in it.
In their position in recent years, I should say they should think everything's unlucky because they've not had a very good time of it.
Yeah.
The lowest position last year that a Ferrari team has been since 1990.
1996. When Schumacher and Irvine were first teammates. An audio up lap happening at the moment with Charles Leclerc as he comes out of the two Tamburello corners down towards Villeneuve chicane. Villeneuve and Tamburello now identical after the accidents in 1994.
Are the rest of your broadcasters doing this audio up? It's to give you the impression that the cars are louder than they are.
Yeah, it's all about adjusting the audio levels and pushing everything up. So gives us a chance to listen to some of the cars going around the track in earphones, because usually we have to have that fader down, which is nice. Gives us a time to watch it. It's okay through Acqua Fibbriari. Now it's up towards the Valtteri Alta corners. Jumps over the curbs a lot, doesn't he? That's the 14-15 chicane that you can now jump over the sausage curbs.
Because they put the audio up, listening to that Ferrari engine,
yeah,
there's a rumble.
Yeah, there is a little bit, isn't there?
There's a little bit of a rumble on that engine.
As it comes across the line and goes top on a 1:17.321. Megan will be happy. Having a 3-2-1 time. She likes that in her OCD-ness. But Megan's always wanted a time.
I don't know where she gets OCD from.
Megan's always wanted to go for a time that it's a 1:50. Yeah,
1:23, 3:21.
Yeah, she's always want to go backwards. I think, where was it last year? I think at
it's Valtteri.
I think it's Shakir when we had under 60-second lap times.
Valtteri with brand new sticker tyres.
Yeah, last year at Shakir, she wanted a 54.321 time. And she didn't get it, unfortunately. So last year at Shakir, she wanted that as well. Rivers says, Italian Grand Prix are always chaotic, so I hope it rains. Agreed. The last Italian Grand Prix we had there was, 2018, something like that?
One of the Italian races in MotoGP rained last year, and it's not Mugello, was it?
No, we weren't at Mugello last year. Where were we?
It was that one that's close to Valentino's ranch.
San Marino. Yeah, San Marino. And Emilia Romagna Grand Prix.
Which is this track, isn't it?
No, this is near Bologna. That's Misano, the other one. Get this right.
San Marino's got two great racetracks.
Yes, both in the same area.
Both in the same area.
What we actually raced at the same track.
Who was it yesterday? In Portugal, the Portugal of wanting their MotoGP race to be permanent.
Yeah.
And they suggest, MotoGP circles are suggesting that the new FIA president might be Portuguese.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder who that would be. We haven't heard anything yet, so I want to know what they're listening to. Synthel says, maybe we'll see it start on a wet surface. That would actually be very interesting because in that case, they'll start on dry tyres. Yeah, they would. And Tobias says, I come back in 20 minutes, guys. You still have live qualifying later? Yes, we do. We're live for every session of Formula 1 and races of MotoGP, British Touring Car, and I forgot the other.
Robertson, what in this day of systems on TVs, there should be a system where they can broadcast. Sky used to do it years ago, where you used to have football matches where you could take the commentators off.
Oh yeah,
and just have the sound from the from.
Yeah, BBC did that as well. Do you remember when they first started?
And that would be great.
And that was here as well because
then you can get rid of Crofty completely.
Yeah.
Poor Crofty.
Ribosum said, talking about the sound of the cars, yesterday I was watching the 2010 Malaysia Grand Prix and I heard more cars than the commentators. Now you have to turn the volume up to listen to the engine. Yeah, it's different, isn't it? That's because when BBC did it, they had lip microphones.
I don't know about you.
And they cancel out more of the noise with the headsets like we wear.
I don't know. I don't know if any of you watch IndyCar, but here in this country, when NBC or ESPN go for a break in America, we get no commentary.
Yeah, it's just cars.
Just the cars. and the radios, car radios.
It's
and
fantastic.
it's amazing. It's a lot better. It's.
You can concentrate.
I
a
know
lot
we're
more.
commentating, and I know we're giving a commentary, and I know Crofty does well and things
Yeah.
like that. But for the purists who want to just listen to the cars,
It's
because
great,
you could
yeah.
like we were just listening to that Ferrari, and we could hear a rumble.
Yeah.
Right now, that rumble could be caused by a lack of oil,
Yeah.
or the oil just not up to temperature.
Which is unlikely because it was his first fly of an actual push lap. Yeah.
But it did sound a bit like it wasn't actually
Yeah.
fully functioning right.
You know as well that if there ever becomes a feature to turn off the commentators and just have the cars, I would actually go absolutely potty. Because we've got faders up in the commentary box.
We've
That
got
would-
buttons as well.
Yeah, that would go right up, and during the race, would hear the cars. I think, what was it? Shakir last year, I was able to put our commentary over the world feed graphics, and it sounds completely different.
Yeah.
It actually sounds like we know what we're on about when we listen to the car engines.
As we don't.
Yeah. Perez goes, P9 actually is Norris's time has been deleted for track limits once again. Synthel says Aqua Minerale, don't know how to write it. That's pretty much it is. Actually, Aqua Minerale is ACQUE, and then you got Minerale right, so don't worry about that. Track limits have been removed down at turn 12. Interesting. So I'll have to have a look at my notes and see if they are up to date.
I've got a feeling I heard that. I know when you said it earlier that you on the notes it said something. I think they've changed it since.
Yeah.
I think they're right.
That's a late call because these were published. These race control notes that I used up in the commentary box were published last night at 18:25. So they should be the new ones. Unless they changed it this morning. That'd be an interesting one. So I'll double check with that later and just get a new page or write them
At the
in
moment, Formula
red
One
notes.
seems to be doing things that not in the order that they've traditionally done them.
yeah,
And,
it's a bit bizarre, isn't it?
it's a bit like you read like a government that reads a newspaper and changes its mind, and they're reading what people are saying, listening to the drivers, and then changing the rules as the Grand Prix is going on. And that's what happened last time with
Mid-race,
Lewis,
yeah.
because Red Bull all of a sudden objected to
Very funny, yeah.
Lewis
Cut the
and
track.
every other car going wide at that particular. Their car didn't actually need to go wide, Red Bull's, and neither did its sister. So the Hondas
Yeah.
engine cars were
Okay, yeah.
were okay, but most of the other cars, especially the Mercedes-run cars, were taking that corner quite wide, and they complained, "Oh, Lewis is gaining an advantage."
36 laps he went off the track at
Yeah,
turn 4.
but everybody else was doing it as well,
Yeah.
and that is an example of them changing the rules. In the drivers' press briefing beforehand, everybody was told you can go off at that thing, but just don't make it
Yeah,
too
was it?
much.
It was Friday. It
Yeah.
wasn't for FP1.
We will
wasn't
tolerate
yeah.
a small amount of
leniency with it all,
leniency in that position.
So-
Then Red Bull complained, and all of a sudden it became illegal.
Yeah, so it was. What
So
was
they
it?
changed the rules
Yeah.
in the middle of the race.
And they did it before. FP1, it wasn't policed at all. FP2, it was heavily policed. Then they forgot about it completely on Saturday. And all of a sudden, mid-race, it's back saying, "Oh no, you can't do that. It's illegal. Give the place back." And they're at
And who did it shoot in the foot?
Verstappen and Red Bull. Yeah,
Red Bull.
there has been a lot of controversy. And it's still brewing now, actually, because who's it? Otmar? It's not Otmar Safnauer, is it?
Otmar
It is Otmar
Safnauer,
Safnauer, yeah. He's
I was mentioning
protesting,
this
yeah.
yesterday about the fact that the rule changes have been done by Formula One and not the FIA.
Yeah, and it's hurt.
And they've looked like they've been designed to hurt
Copy
the
cars,
Mercedes-run teams, the Mercedes engine teams, and
Norris,
Otmar and Lawrence are in
Absolute
complete.
pieces, yeah.
They've got a lot of money. They'll
They'll
take this.
sue. Yeah.
They'll take this. They'll
Oh,
take this.
that's-
That it's. And
Yeah.
so you could have a rule change there
But
that-
it's already
about
been
the flow of the
designed.
car.
Yeah, it's
You
confusing.
see, the development of these cars was done on the basis of
Yeah.
certain things staying the same. And then all of a sudden, 3 months before the start of the season, it was changed. The floor was given a reduction.
There's a yellow.
The rear spoiler was given a reduction in percentage, and so it seemed to
Latifi's off. Yeah,
Latifi's off.
Yeah, it was Latifi. I saw he's gone off at Toza into the barriers. Bottas' time's been deleted. This will be a red, and it is a red flag. He's reversing, but the session's already been stopped, so maybe that should have been a virtual safety car. A bit hesitant there. Oh, he's hit the wall again.
I think he's got damage to that front left.
Yeah, Michael Masi here being a bit quick on the mark to throw a red flag. It might be the right decision because he's reversing.
Back a bit. No, there's no damage.
I can't tell.
Any damage?
Front right. No, he's got it going.
Yeah, front left isn't moving.
Oh,
there it is.
Yeah, there goes the wing.
There it is.
The wing.
It's back on the tarmac.
Michael Masi might actually get a slap on the wrist for that because every time he red flags a session, he has to explain to the people who are higher up than him, why did you stop that session? I think this will be one saying, why did you throw a red flag? You have a virtual safety car. Why didn't you use it?
The problem here is the red flag procedure.
Yeah, he just skid off coming through he lost the rear.
He just lost the rear because he came in too fast.
Yeah, coming through a Villeneuve chicane and
but
just
that's
skidded
his
to the
idea.
wall.
That's what all of them should be doing, pushing it to its limit. He's just found the limit.
Actually, looking at that, slightly, and it's slightly morbid, but looking at that, that's the exactly area where Roland Ratzenberger crashed in qualifying because I can see the memorial.
The thing about Latifi is that he ain't got the talent that George has got. But he's not a bad little driver.
He's quick. He's very quick. Second in the Formula 2 Championship.
And his mistakes are a bit like Alex's, come with the speed. And him pushing himself to the limit.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling, that if he does manage to stay in Formula 1, that a couple of years down the line, he'll be a good midfield driver.
Swearing over the radio, they're in our ears. That was at the TV. Not happy there. And, I'm just looking as well. Nobody's happy that this red flag has come out at all at the moment. And it is a bit of an interesting one as to why. Third red flag, fourth red flag of the weekend. 2 in FP1.
And you
said,
FP2. Didn't you say we hadn't had a...
No, coming into this weekend, there was no red flags at all in Bahrain. And the red flags now coming in.
But Sky the opportunity to go for a break.
Wrong time because I think we've just gone green. Oh no, we will go green in the next minute. Okay.
Well, you have to. There is a 2-minute thing. Massey can't put it back to green.
And I wonder who that's
because he has to do a red flag procedure.
It's really they should have just done virtual safety car for that.
Yeah. Well, maybe you pressed the wrong button.
Hopefully, yeah. I want to know. I want to know the reason for that because that's a bit silly. But yeah, red flag once again.
It's been a habit of people pressing the wrong buttons this Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about you. Talking about the technician yesterday who blew everything.
Yeah. It was a fibre cable at Biggin Hill. So somebody at Biggin Hill tripped over something.
Yeah, and ripped the cable out.
That's a bit bad, that one cable.
They lost telemetry.
Yeah, radio.
They could only hear what the drivers were saying. The drivers couldn't hear
anything.
The teams.
Good for that pit board.
Yeah.
Old technology still the best.
Old technology. Which, I mean, in MotoGP, I know we keep going on about MotoGP. Oh, it's the girl from Downton again.
Yeah. MotoGP's only got
MotoGP, they have the display.
Yeah.
But you can't really talk to the drivers very well.
They were talking about having ship-to-shore radios, and everybody says, no, bad idea, because on a motorbike, it's easier in a car to talk to you. But on a motorbike, if you're leaning in the corner, and then all of a sudden you get in your ear, like we just did, radio, you're going to get distracted and fall off. And it's a safety issue.
The Rossi brothers would be able to give more information than anyone else because of the speed they talk.
Yeah, that's interesting as well. I don't think we've mentioned that this year in MotoGP. The fact that it must be the first time that the two brothers have raced on the same track because Luca Marini and Valentino Rossi are racing in the championship.
Yeah, and younger brother is in 3, isn't
Riccardo Rossi, yeah, in Moto 3. Yeah.
Yeah. And also cousins there. So
yeah. There's a very much Rossi MotoGP, isn't it? Family.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people who are doing really well in MotoGP.
We've got
that owe a lot to the success of Valentino and his 46 team.
The track has actually now gone green, and it went green 2 minutes ago. So our update to the timing monitor a bit wrong, but they've actually now gone green with 30 minutes to go. Sorry. So yeah, we are now back on the track. Gasly, Tsunoda, Schumacher, Bottas, and Hamilton and Stroll heading out there. Sky decided to go to an ad break at precisely the wrong time because they've missed the restart. And I suppose it didn't take that long.
So what
though.
did the engineer mean by power and brakes just then?
I wasn't listening.
Yeah, he told, and it sounded like Tsunoda.
It was Tsunoda. I'll have a replay back and see what, because we can hear it back. So, working on the tyres and brakes. It's warming up the tyres and brakes.
Warming up the tyres, yeah. Because Tsunoda was saying that Tsunoda has this like extended pedals because he's so small.
And they can't move it that far back because of Gasly.
Yeah, and they've had to up his height. So, so there's a lot of...
Do you know, they don't even bother doing the height test with him. You know, the invisible line from the top of the car to the bottom. Yeah, they don't even bother.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know. No, he'd never fail it, would he?
No.
But he's got his seat's got more padding than any other because they had to raise him up a little bit because he can only just see over the steering wheel.
Martin Brodder got in trouble for that once with the invisible line because he used to duck down so he could actually get it through.
Lando, if you remember, when he was in Giannetta's age 13 or 14.
Boosters, wasn't
right?
it? Yeah.
Oh, he used to actually look through the gap in the steering wheel.
Yeah, he was really small, Lando Norris, when he was there. Racing against Sophia Flörsch and Dan Kamish.
Sophia's now doing well in DTM.
DTM Championship now. And Dan Kamish, who's been... Well, Dan Kamish, who was racing in the British Touring Car Championship with Honda Yassiv Racing, been let go because Gordon Shedden's come back full-time. He came back last year.
Well, yeah, his brother-in-law, Gordon's brother-in-law, he's still got his seat, though, hasn't he?
Yeah. Matt Neal's in there. Gordon Shannon's come back as well. The Irish lad, or Scottish lad, isn't it? Is Shannon Scottish or Irish? He's Scottish.
Scottish.
Yeah, because but
they own the track up there.
Yeah, and Matt Neal calls a family-run team. The Neals run Honda Yassiv Racing, and it's now Shedden and Neal back together again. And Dan Kamish has returned to the Porsche Carrera Cup GP.
Kamish is his cousin.
Yeah, something along that line.
That's it.
Remember, yeah.
Kamish is his cousin.
It was something along.
Or
that.
His brother-in-law.
It was something.
And
they're a lot younger.
He was just replacing him while he was off doing something else. Didn't he go into World Touring Cars?
Yeah, Shedden went into World Touring Car Championship as well and came back.
Because they own Knock Hill.
The Sheddens, yeah.
Yeah, the Sheddens own Knock Hill up in Scotland.
Is it Tordoff? Is it actually
Tordoff? Sam Tordoff is a very rich young man. They have the Ferrari dealership around here in Leeds. Yeah.
Verstappen won 16.251, making it a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment. Verstappen actually out there on the soft tyres, so he's out there.
Something 600.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Their company is something 600, isn't it? There used to be one at Mount Pleasant in Hull.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is.
I know because
his racing number is 600.
Yes, it is. That's to give himself a bit more publicity.
Yeah. Bottas now immediately replaces Verstappen by 2 tenths per second on a 1:15.984 to the top of the board, improving ever slightly. Mick Schumacher down at Villeneuve chicane. What's he done? Curb 1, lost it, and ran through the gravel at curb 2. Exactly as what happened with Latifi almost.
And talking of brothers, and we're talking about British Touring Car Championships, will Nick be returning?
Nick is back.
Nick Hamilton returning to British Touring Cars this year?
At Rocket
Absolutely
HRT,
amazing that a guy with his problems in his health gets on the grid in the first place. But the lad is brilliant. Yeah. And I just admire him so much. He's got so much willpower, you know.
Wrong series. That's IndyCar.
IndyCar willpower.
Which is on today, isn't it? Tonight.
Yeah, it's on tonight.
Yeah.
Is willpower taking part?
Yes, it is,
Yeah.
Also, not sure what we're doing with IndyCar yet. I said yesterday I might record it and put it as a highlight series, as Hamilton has a moment coming through Aqua Minerale. Manages to save it. But yeah, I'm going to experiment with doing a highlight session. Oh, he was flying over Variante Alta, wasn't he?
Ant has tried to get Crofty this weekend to actually call the corners by their names.
It's easier.
And you're just trying that as well.
Well, it's easier to remember it. They've got names, use them. It's like when we go to Silverstone, we don't say turn 1, do we? It's Abbey, and then it's Farm. As Hamilton's that jump over Variante Alta has put him into P2 on a 1:16.158. They're hard though because they're proper Italian names.
Yeah.
And as well, if you read what turn 6 is, turn 7 is
In
called.
Ant's case, though, he did karting in Italy, so
Yeah, he knows it.
He
Yeah.
knows how to pronounce these things.
Turn 7 is called Tosa, but it's spelt differently. Oh, big slide! Coming around Ackerman. Oh, he's done it again! Look, the car's shaking! I think Verstappen's done more damage again. Coming over Aquaminarari.
What if he's slowing down, but he's also, his wheels look okay.
But the car's rocking at the back and he slowed down immediately.
It's the oscillation again.
Came over the sausage curbs.
I think he's been
bang.
okay this time. He might have elongated one of the rubber bushes, but
Hamilton track limits at turn
so he might
9.
be getting a bit vibration there on that right rear tyre.
Up at Paeta, Hamilton's lost his time.
Let's have a look at it again.
So coming through Aquaminarari at the exit, and it's on those sleeping policemen.
Yes. Yeah, both rear wheels left the ground.
He says he's hit something over the... Yeah, he said he took flight. Let's have a look.
He did. Look, both rear wheels take off.
Oh!
There.
We had the flying Finn. Could this be the flying Dutchman?
Oh, yeah. Wow. You're not usually that quick.
Quite quick there. But yeah, that was complete, all 4 wheels. So Noda had his lap time deleted, but he's now just gone up to P12 once again.
See, that guy is Natalie Pinkham's kids have done his hair.
Oh, dear. That was a bad one. And Verstappen's actually had his lap time deleted. Verstappen's had his lap time deleted. Oh. Well, Verstappen was P2, but his time's now been deleted. He's been sent down to last place. So 1:28.329, and with his car possibly damaged, that could be something to watch. He's still circulating now.
Yeah, if anything, he's do you know the rubber and metal bushes that hold these things tight, right? I think he's just damaged one of them. I don't think he's actually damaged the strut.
Got lucky.
He's definitely, if this is
This is
Perez
Perez,
on board, right? We could do with an onboard for Verstappen because we can. The vibration should be similar for both.
Talking about Verstappen's onboard yesterday, it was released footage last night on Reddit and then later by F1's Instagram of the fact that the onboard camera was left on. So on the back of the truck, as they brought it back through the streets.
Through the streets, yeah, it went around the town.
Yeah, there's an actual footage of the car at traffic lights.
Great publicity though
for the town.
For Formula One.
Yeah.
Having a car taken through the village,
and there's a workman's truck behind it as well, and they're all going, "Oh wow, look, it's a car, it's a car."
All taking pictures of the rear diffuser and trying to sell them online.
Well, yeah, to buy.
We got one, didn't we?
Yeah, we saw it in the box as well. That'll be on Development Corner. Schumacher goes 11th on a 1:17.052. And this is Gasly.
See, it's at the right angle as well because the car's higher on the flatbed than the vans behind. So you get your phone out and you get an underneath view.
Gasly at the exit of Tosa, losing the rear. And he said bleep. I had a big snap. He did. He almost ended up in the wall at the exit of Tosa. That was bad.
That wasn't talent, that was luck.
Yeah, that was complete luck because he just managed to keep it over the curve.
He actually just did the right thing at the right time. Unfortunately, Charles couldn't yesterday and just had to choose back or rear front that went into the wall.
Verstappen's pushing hard coming through the Ravazzas, but it's not going to be a quick time. I'll take that back. He's just gone fastest, 1:15.895. The sector times were showing 2 yellows. I thought, that's not going to be quick.
Do you know that's often the case with the Red Bull? If there is a slight problem with
that was Gasly on the radio.
with the car,
yeah,
it often actually seems to get better.
Yeah,
it's a really weird thing with that Red Bull. That's not the first time that's happened because you can clearly see if you look at the 2 rear wheels. There is a lot of vibration on the right-hand side, so it just suggests that there's just a little bit of a split rubber holding the rear suspension in place.
So Noda coming through now on the track and is going slightly slower than I would have thought he would do on a flying lap.
Who was it? Was it Alonso at McLaren who turned around and lost the end plate of one of his front wings? and said, that's it, the car's better now.
Yes,
And
on the
they
curve.
developed the front wing with a different end plate to improve the car.
It was that, yeah. Wow! Pierre Gasly has just gone fastest on the medium tyre. A 1:15.890. He is 0.005 of a second faster than Verstappen. How did that happen?
Don't know.
They're both pushing. AlphaTauri looks like with pace. I mean, do you remember qualifying 1 in Bahrain? I think that's Schumacher, yeah.
We're listening in our ears to the radio transmission.
And yeah, Schumacher's complaining that the rear tyres are gone and he can't get any temperature into them, as Leclerc now goes fastest on a 1:15.738. Fastest time yesterday was set by Bottas, a 1:15.551. So we're getting to the times of free practice too.
And like I said yesterday and this morning, the Ferraris not doing too bad.
No, they're not, are they? And this is what happened to Yuki Tsunoda coming down towards Ravazza. And he's braking. He's got a Red Bull in front of him. And what's he saying on the radio? Well, that's Yuki Tsunoda on the radio saying, bleep, Perez doesn't even look. Bleep, bleep. He's very angry, isn't he? We saw that in Bahrain. He was very angry.
Animated, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, very good. Very good.
He should have the similar pills to what I've had.
Animated. That's very good. Because
Animated.
Japan's quite famous with animations. That's quite good.
Animation.
Corner analysis through turns 2 and 3.
Well, I am quite funny most of the time.
Oh, wow. Through turns 2 and 3, Bottas and Verstappen are exactly the same time, 4.696 seconds. So they're identical. As now we've got a train forming of Hamilton, Leclerc and Verstappen at the moment.
The runaway train can't do the lyrics.
Oh, and Hamilton, hold it. That frightens me coming through Variante Alta. The fact that Hamilton was so slow.
I love the way Lewis just gets on with what he's doing.
He doesn't care about anyone else, does he? No.
And it's not out to do with anyone else.
Oh, there goes Verstappen. He's passed him now, downhill towards Ravazza. And of course, if it is a wet race, we saw that back in 1991. I've just remembered Alain Prost. Not 1991, 1989. I think it was another wet race. Prost spinning off at Ravazza and beaching it in the mud. So the whole race is just a Ferrari that's perfectly fine, stuck in the mud.
We've got an heavy braking performance.
This is between Bottas and Verstappen.
4.5 G.
So that I think that shows
that's a heavy G for a normal corner, isn't it?
Looking at that as well, Verstappen's carrying more speed throughout the corners down at Tamburello, but Bottas is braking harder. So that shows me there that Verstappen should be faster through the chicanes compared to Bottas.
Yeah.
Oh, big slide from Hamilton at Aquaferrari.
Pushing it to the limit. That's what you do.
And he just got a bigger snap at the second part of that as he comes up. He's taking the chicane again at Variante Alta.
The thing is...
that's Hamilton now, so it was Bottas. Sorry.
When Lewis does something like that...
it was.
He just doesn't bother him.
Hang on a minute.
He just gets on with it.
That was Hamilton having the slide.
Yeah, of course it was.
But we just come back to Hamilton now. I think this bit's on a bit of a tape delay.
No, I think they just did a...
Yeah, that's a bit weird. Because both cars were Hamilton. Okay, we'll go with it. Hamilton now coming into the last couple of corners at Ravazza. And that big snap might have saved him a little bit, but I don't think he's going to go as quick. And despite the snap, 2 tenths quicker.
Quickest, because he was pushing.
Yeah, 1:15.515.
Can you imagine without that little slip, right, he'd have probably put another half second on that.
I was thinking that, yeah. Over Leclerc.
Yeah, but I think also Verstappen's had a little slip and put in a top time in a few laps ago. That's really weird,
quick.
Isn't it? How?
Yeah, Lando's quick sector 2. And he's only 200ths off, 200ths of a second off of Hamilton.
Good for the Brits. Both of them in the first 2 now.
1:15.537.
15 minutes to go though. I don't know. You know, I love the way the McLaren is so much better this year.
And, it was Bottas who had the snap.
Improvements last year gave us hope that they would return to their old ways. I don't think they're quite there yet, but. You know, they've got two brilliant drivers.
So it was Bottas who had the snap at Aqua Minerale, and I think Megan actually made the point back in Bahrain that you can't tell where the number is on that Mercedes because it's just an outline. Isn't there an FIA rule that it has to be a solid colour, not just
but they
an
don't
outline?
say which colour.
Yeah, it should be a solid colour because they've just got the outline. I think they'll have to change that because it's a bit hard to see the numbers on the side there. And I like the idea of them putting the number on the halo as well. Not every team does that. I mean, the FIA needs to step up their game here and make it easier for fans and certainly commentators to identify.
IndyCar trialled for 2 years on the side of the engine covers, putting little displays that could tell you what the time was in the pit stop,
it worked.
what position the car is in the race, which on ovals is so important.
It's
because
so easy,
Yeah, you can get cars passing each other, and they're 3 or 4 laps apart.
There's been a couple of test runs with the safety cars of F1 installing a similar system, but on the wheels, in the wheel covers. And I like the idea of that until you realise that it looked like it did in 2008 and it looked stupid.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. Just keep it as it is.
Elegance is what Formula One cars are supposed to be about.
Because how long until they put... Because when they distract the driver, if you're pulling alongside someone and you can just see an LED light flashing with spinning stuff...
On the TV, they look very elegant. Up close, they look like
ugly.
Meccano's.
Yeah. Looks like our on-air light in front of us. That's blaring back at us. It'll be ridiculous and distracting. Not that the on-air light's distracting. What about if you're going at 200 miles an hour and there's just a wee red light spinning around? That'll look distracting. Norris fastest sector 1 with a 23.917, so he's looking good. And this is Tsunoda.
Yuki, keep my radio clean, Tsunoda.
Is he going to do it again? It's bleeping paradise like traffic paradise. What is this one? Tsunoda is getting very agitated out there, isn't he, today? He's swearing like a fisherman.
He should be, he comes from the land of Zen.
Yeah.
So he should know how to keep calm.
Yeah, just saying it again in our ears. Oliver D asks, what was the fastest time of Vettel was deleted? As Norris now goes top.
Why was the fastest time of Vettel deleted?
He's dropped down to 19th place
Should
now.
have gone to Specsavers, Josh.
Yeah, track limits down at turn 9. So why was the fast lap time deleted? Yeah,
it was the track
limits down at turn 9. Yeah,
is Lando?
He's gone fastest on a 1:15.414, 10th quicker than Hamilton.
Whoa! 4 wheels off the ground for Lando.
He's trying to reenact the Battle of Britain. And that McLaren as well, so much faster.
They saw the oscillations on the curbs that we were talking about, the ridges on the curbs that caused the oscillation in the car, and what caused Max to go, oh, have I broken something again? But no, he hadn't.
It looked like it was rocking a bit, so I wonder if he was pressing the brake pedal to make it rock to see if there's anything wrong with the car.
Yeah.
Because look, we're seeing Russell doing it now. Look, he was just jolting, getting out of the way. Oh, Ferrari in the way there, and that's 2 cars side by side.
Yeah, go behind, please. Otherwise, you're going to get a penalty.
That was Sainz, Norris, and Giovinazzi coming together on the track as well. And Ricciardo, Leclerc, and Norris as well. We've got a yellow somewhere on the track. It's just flagged up on the monitor.
They always say to these drivers, you've got a penalty and things like that.
Yeah.
But if you had to drive your normal area off...
It's Raikkonen.
Raikkonen, pushing it to the limit.
At Ravazza.
If you had to drive, looking into those things, they vibrate. They're a lot better than they used to be.
Yeah.
The rear view mirrors, the wing mirrors. But, if you had to drive and see cars coming at you from very fast speeds in little mirrors like that, right, you couldn't do it.
I don't know why they don't replace them like they have done in GT cars with screens inside the cockpit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just little screens in the cockpit. And this
distracting, I suppose.
Well, so are the mirrors. Raikkonen
you get that in a lot of cars nowadays.
Yeah.
A lot of the
safety
cars.
car. The safety car's got it as well.
The safety car's got it, hasn't it? Yeah.
So Raikkonen's off-track excursion into rallying was due to a lock-up at Ravazza 1, trying to avoid one of the Alphas.
Emulating his famous uncles.
Yeah. He had a bit of rallying, didn't he, in 2010?
Yeah, he did it as well. The family tradition is rallying, so...
10 minutes to go.
Whose mother was a rally driver? Somebody's mother was a rally driver.
Oh, that rings a bell.
Yeah. Oh, famously, Sterling's sister was
Sterling's
a great
sister,
rally
Pat,
driver.
yeah.
She was a world champion rally driver, wasn't she?
Looking down the list as well.
I know who it is.
Who?
It's Max.
Oh, Max Verstappen, yeah.
Max's mum's a
Yeah,
rally driver.
Just got down to the list at the bottom there, and it said,
and
Max.
I think Carlos's mum has done it in the past as
I
well.
think she's done some rallying, yeah. But Max's mother definitely is a rally expert and winner, actually, of several stages as well. And Gasly is saying that the steering's still bent.
So he's knocked the camber off.
Yeah, where's it? So
on one side. So he's got damage to one side on the connection rods.
We're on board with Max Verstappen now, coming into the Villeneuve chicane. To over 120 miles an hour. I don't think he barely braked, did he? He just took off the throttle.
I think there's nothing else that could have done that bent steering than that.
Yeah, it's the curve.
It's got to be a connection rod has been damaged slightly, but it's not doing him too badly. He's fourth in the listings up there on the
He was fastest at one point in the session. The one thing that always frightens me about Formula 1 cars these days is the fact that it's brake bar wire. So if that wire doesn't work and the connector doesn't work, you're just flying towards a wall at over 200 miles an hour. As Verstappen jumps over the curbs at Variante Alta and is fastest in the second sector on 25.836.
The wire's a bit like your Wi-Fi connection in the ground that brings you to your Wi-Fi hub. It's fibre, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
it's all the fibre.
It should never ever break.
Yesterday. And Verstappen is now 5/10 faster than Norris, so 1:14.9.
Should always have some connection though. They've got to be...
Yeah, even yesterday was connection. Yeah, some way to slow it down. But so Verstappen's fastest 1:14.958, and that's the first time this weekend I don't think we're going to see a Mercedes top from Bottas. It looks generally that we're going to see the qualifying pace of the cars. And Red Bull yesterday had a disrupted FP2 with Verstappen stopping the drive shaft issue. Perez as well had a lot of action.
This track suits McLaren better than the last one.
Oh yeah, this track as well. I think we'll see McLaren on the podium. I said their first win would come at Canada. However, Canada now looks to be off the calendar due to COVID.
Yeah, which is the best chip shop in Formula 1.
Yeah, disappointed with that. So I'm going to change my prediction.
Just as you go in the entrance on the left-hand side.
I'm going to change my prediction and say that if they do well here this weekend, McLaren stand a chance of victory at Portimao.
Crofty loves those chips.
Everyone loves those chips. In fact, the chip shop there is this. We've got a similar one. We're close to us, haven't we?
Yeah, well, we've got loads of great chip shops. We're from
a fishing town, really, isn't it? But yeah,
no, we're not only a fishing town. It's a town where where Lincolnshire, Lincolnshire potatoes.
Oh, best.
You've got the peas are grown here, so fish, chips, and peas.
It's just really all of it,
from around here, and on the North Bank as well, we have Wet Wang, which is I reckon the best fish and chip shop in the country.
That is, I actually miss it
Thompson's
a lot. Yeah,
at Wet Wang.
As that was.
So if anybody on the York to Bridlington Road, pop in at Wet Wang. There's usually a queue.
Yeah, big queues.
Big queue. A lot of the bikers go there.
Well, it's easy for them to stop off, isn't it? It's just on the side of one of the roads.
Yeah, the two Haslams, the father and the son, were in the queue, and they're in the queue about two in front of us.
Yeah.
And people were going, who's the bikes belong to? And I'm going,
yeah, guess who?
He's doing quite well in Superbikes, isn't he?
Yeah. One thing I'll never forget though is that coming into Tesco, the big Tesco, just alongside.
David Coulthard's car?
David Coulthard's car, yes. But no, I was on about coming out and seeing Neil Hodgson walking out with his family.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're off to Cadwell, because it was August bank holiday, there was no MotoGP. So you see Neil Hodgson walking towards you, and you're just like, oh, right, hello.
It's an area which is very synonymous with the British superbikes and superbikes.
Oh, Cadwell's famous worldwide, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. DC was saying that he raced there in F3.
I wouldn't want to race around there in a car. I think it's dangerous on
Well,
bikes.
it used to be one of the top rally circuits.
Yeah. Still it?
Motocross circuits.
Uphill over the mountain.
It was always described as a miniature Brands Hatch.
Yeah, I have.
Because of its undulations, and that's what you've got here. You've got what doesn't come across on the screen is the inclinations of some of these hills and straights.
We've got a yellow somewhere on the track, and I can't see who it is at the moment because. Oh, and that's
there it is. It's one of the.
It's the
Alphas.
99. It's Antonio Giovinazzi. Now, where's he gone off? Villeneuve.
Now,
backwards.
Antonio Giovinazzi is really impressing some of the other bosses.
Who was that flying through just alongside? It
but
was
the way he's pushing that car.
Yeah.
It was
his Raikkonen and his teammate.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. It's not down to four. Raikkonen, Giovinazzi went off at Tamburello. And Raikkonen nearly smashed into the side of him.
And so I'm commentator's case there.
Yeah.
Right, we're saying what a lot of people are saying in other parts, some of the journalists, some of the things, that a number of the other team principals are quite pleased with the development of Antonio, and that he looks like if they don't want to keep him, Alpha don't want to keep him,
he'll go over.
He might go over to one of the others. I know Haas were interested in him.
Yeah, I was going to say Haas would probably go
but he wasn't interested in them.
I think I've heard that Gasly's going to go over to Alpine to place Ocon.
Yeah.
And I reckon Giovinazzi could slot in very nicely at AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
Alongside Tsunoda. That would be a nice, because they haven't got Yuri Vips hasn't got the super license points, I don't think. So
Vips is the other Russian, isn't it?
Yeah. So they're very much struggling for drivers.
He's one of my favourite drivers in the lower formulas. Vips. He's very, very good.
That's just reminded me actually, because I've just seen McLaren's new social media manager, but that's also because yesterday, after 5 years at the team, Helen Crossley retired from McLaren. She's gone over to work she left McLaren. She's gone over to work at another team. But Helen hasn't been at the races so far in 2021. And yesterday was her last day because she was on gardening leave. But yeah, Helen has now left McLaren. And she said that...
she might have been on gardening leave, but they gave her a nice present of one of the shirts signed.
All signed and everything as well. She got a front wing as well as one of the cars.
Gardening leave in those sorts of situations is so that you don't pass on the secrets of the car before the start of the season. So
she left at the end of Abu Dhabi, and yesterday was her last official day. Now she's left over to go over to other things. But she was happy because after 3 years, her one line in Drive to Survive, the Netflix show, was back at the Italian Grand Prix, and she said, "Have you ever seen how sweaty my palms are?" And she said, out of all the things of Netflix that they filmed of her, that is the line that made it into the show. Not her celebrating in Austria with Norris's podium, not her celebrating the team third in the Constructors' Championship. No, the fact that she had sweaty palms going for the victory in Imola, Monza. With Sainz.
Well, I have been moaning about the fact that we only get an hour now in all the 3 practice sessions, but health-wise,
it works for you.
Yeah, because since about half an hour in, I have been getting worse and feeling not good.
You got a couple of hours now before quali. It's a surprise.
Yeah, might get Megan now.
Oh well, if she bothered to come down. The race tomorrow, Megan.
But when I came in here, I'd only just had all my medication, so I was feeling okay.
Megan will be in tomorrow's commentary box for the MotoGP race, which is 45 minutes, and then Ian Burch takes over for the race of Formula 1. And then I don't know what's happening.
Do I?
Yeah, don't know what's happening in Portimao though. Yeah. Hey, it's my birthday race. Oh, here's something quick before
his birthday.
Well, it's only because its birthday's next Wednesday. But interesting fact, we read about this, didn't we? 1999, the very first race after my birthday was the San Marino Grand Prix at Imola, where Hakkinen threw it into the wall and all that lot. And for the race here,
I think
22 years later, probably, 22 years later, the race before my birthday is San Marino, or Imola, really, isn't it? So I like that little fact. Checkered flag coming out in 10 seconds. This is Max Verstappen. Now, what's he doing? Why is he going so slow coming over the line? What's happening? This is looking interesting.
He's got
checkered
drive.
flag. So Verstappen taking the checkered flag and not wanting to. He had to wait.
Another fast
yeah,
lap.
he had to wait for that line to go over, didn't he? So I wonder what that was about with Max Verstappen, because he was very slow coming out of Ravazza.
Was he just getting clear space?
But he's missed the line. He's missed the checkered flag. He's warming his tyres up now. I don't think you can do practice starts.
Yeah, but he's still getting all the telemetry back, even if you're not official lap. It's all the telemetry.
Now, this is the first session that's actually finished as well with the checkered flag. Oh, so Verstappen was taking caution of tyres being cold. So, yeah, his tyres
Max thought there was something wrong with his car. That's why he slowed to things, but it was just the cold tyres.
Interesting. Now, I'm having a look at practice. Practice starts. Okay, this explains it, because we haven't actually had cars on the track at the end of a practice session so far this weekend, because both of them were under a red flag. But practice starts may be carried out on the track at the end of the free practice session. None may be carried out in the pit lane. Any car on the track when the checkered flag is shown may then complete another lap and, instead of entering the pits, proceed to the grid and carry out a practice start.
So that's why he was doing it.
And that's why all 20 cars are out on the track right now. They're all going to do a practice start procedure. So that explains why we've got these situations. And let's hope it's not like the Formula E race, where they come out the last corner and they fly off into the wall together, because that would be a disaster. And it's so short time for qualifying. And here is now Max Verstappen taking his practice start.
That's a replay, isn't it?
No, this is live.
Yeah, it's his live.
Oh, he got it stopped just in time, didn't he? But you have to look at the repeater lights. So
I hope he doesn't do that on the day.
Yeah, he would
move forward.
He'd get a bit of a result, and away he goes. Good acceleration, although a little bit of wheel spin I found. And of course, this must be the first and only time they've done practice starts this weekend, because FP1 and 2 got cancelled at the end for practice starts.
Yeah.
So this data is going to be crucial for the teams to get
for the engineers to create the ultimate
buy point finder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that not? Yeah, it is plugged in. So, session over. Max Verstappen, the fastest on a 1:14.958 from Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, Carlos Sainz, Valtteri Bottas, 8th fastest. Not good for the guy who topped FP1 and 2. Fernando Alonso, 9th. Megan will be happy. And Esteban Ocon, 10th. So Alpine doing fantastic job. Alpine was the BMW lot. Alpine is the Renault lot. So then it was Yuki Tsunoda, 11th. Lance Stroll, Danny Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel, George Russell, Mick Schumacher, Nicola Latifi, Antonio Giovinazzi, Kimi Räikkönen and Nikita Mazepin down in 20th. The cars on the grid doing the practice starts. Lewis Hamilton.
Isn't it just the French pronunciation of...
Yeah, it's Alpine, isn't it? Not Alpine. It's confusing.
It with their sports car range.
Yeah. And Esteban Ocon's already got one. As this is Hamilton again doing the bipod find with the button on the back as well, which is it holds in the first gear so that Hamilton can have complete control of the clutch, and away. You see he drops the clutch and then the button on the back just holds first gear until he pulls away. Interesting system there, because then you don't drop the wrong clutch, the wrong paddle on the back. Yeah, it was good from Hamilton there through the first sector. So that's the end of all the practice sessions. Dad, what's been your moment of FP3? A lot more action than FP1 and 2.
It was more packed than the first two. I think it's just the intrigue between which one of those three cars is going to be on pole position, because I think you've got to add Lando into the mix, because I've just got this feeling that it's McLaren's weekend to do something good. It's
looking that way, isn't it? It's very it's surprising me that we're seeing so much action from the McLarens. Lando Norris only 5/10 off, really, but
because remember, this is the practice for qualifying.
Yeah,
whereas the practice 2 is the practice for the race.
Yeah, FP3 is
FP3 is quali.
Yeah. And talking quali, we'll be back at 12:40 British Summer Time for all of the build-up, and we'll start the session at 1 o'clock. The race is live tomorrow at 1:30 with a pre-recorded pre-race show. We go live at 1:55. And if you're a fan of MotoGP, we have that live as well tomorrow, fingers crossed, at 12:40 with the action getting underway at 1 o'clock. A lot of dual broadcasting it looks like we're going to have for a couple of minutes on the channel. as well as we get everything sorted. We'll be back for qualifying later on. Bye for now.
Bye.